started. All right, so I'd like to welcome everyone that hopped on the call today. So as usual on a Sunday, we're just going to go over some basic market analysis and what we're looking at for the week. And as we like to start off our Sundays, right, market open is going to open in literally a minute. So we're going to see if we get any sudden gaps. Now, there is one thing, the alleged death of Kim Jong-un. I'm not even sure. I haven't actually looked at the news since, but is he proper dead? But that's for sure gonna make some movement in the market, especially in the dollar and in the JPY. So that's going to be very, very interesting to look at this week. So just to take a look at the dollar index, clearly still gaining strength, right? The dollar is very, very strong. If we just draw a simple trend channel just like that, just to give us a basic idea, clearly you can see it's dynamic support and resistance, right? It's touching off this institutional candle, bouncing off, once again comes back down to the support level, and it should rise again, which means that any pairs that are XXX USD, we're looking for shorts on them sort of pairs, right? So as you know, Sundays and Mondays, they're kind of the days, like for example, if I bring out a brush here, Sundays and Mondays, they're kind of days that if we're expecting a certain pair to go up, Sunday is the type of day to kind of give us a little bit of a push down and then a push up. You know, it's just that sudden jerk back for a push up or vice versa, right? That sudden jerk up to push down, right? So they're kind of the manipulation days. They're basically there to put traders on the wrong side of the market, right? Just on the wrong side of the market. That's all it is. So I'm just gonna go ahead. There's not much on DXY. You kind of go over this every week. The DXY has been kind of like very, very slow lately. You know, it's going up slowly but surely. Even on the 4 hour, it kind of looks a bit closer just like that, but it's still going up slowly but surely. So we should be expecting maybe drop down a bit more than a push, but we'll just have to see how it goes. But moving on to GU, this is what I'm looking for the week, right? So if we take a look at the daily, right, we can see that price is in sort of a downtrend channel just like that. If we take a look at the 4 hour, right, I am looking for a breakout up above this level, right? We were trying to short a few times on the 1 hour from this level, but as you can see, the price was just ranging, right? It was consolidating, so it was creating liquidity. So what I'm looking for is the 3 mark phases, right? So we're looking for the expansion up, right, to put traders on the wrong direction. So if we get a breakout just like this, if price breaks out, a lot of people are going to start longing because they think that there's a breakout of this box, right? A breakout of this range, and people are going to think that there is a breakout of this. They're going to think that there's a breakout of this trend channel right here. So what happens? Straight away they start buying, right? A lot of traders start buying, they start placing their buys, and then what happens? Boom, price drops against them. And that's just a 3 MAC phase. The expansion is like the manipulation phase, and it usually happens in 3 different pushes, right? So the contraction, which is where liquidity is being built up. Then we have the expansion, which hopefully this is what we're looking for, the expansion to push up to our entry area. And I'm going to show you guys where our entry area is, right? And then we expect the trend to happen. And now if you take a look at this, all the expansion is doing is taking the liquidity up from the top. So it's triggering all the stop losses on the top. And then the profit is just leaving the profit trend, right? That's taking all the stop losses on the bottom. So these equal lows on the bottom, just like that, this sort of resistance support right here. So I'm going to show you guys the reason for entry up on this level. Right, so right, so if we take a look at the 4 hour, I'm going to try and avoid actually taking trades on the 1 hour, and I'll show you the reason why now. Right, so if we take a look at the 4 hour anyways, as I said, we're in this downtrend channel. I'm looking for a fake breakout to trigger us up here. Now, if we take a look right up here, we notice that there is a lot of market structure here, which means that this previous support, right, becomes our new resistance. So this could be a level of entry just right here when price pushes back up to this level and then pushes down, because as you know, the market kind of doesn't just shoot down in one, it kind of just creates structure and then it pushes down, then it creates structure and it pushes down. right? This is one sort of market structure, and then you get the slower market structure. This is very impulsive, right? This is when the market is trending quick, right? It's pushing down. It's not even coming back up to retest this market structure. Then we get this sort of market structure. We get the push up and down, and the push up and down, and the push up. And what's that doing? It's just testing these levels of resistance, right? These levels of resistance, and then it's pushing back down. So this is a bit more of a slower trending market, and this is just an impulsive market. So it's creating a bit of consolidation, drop, bit of consolidation, drop, right? So this is the kind of market structure that we're in right now, that we're looking at the 4 hour, just like that, right? So that's one reason for my entry here. And if we take a look on the daily as well, you guys can see that we have somewhat of an institutional candle right here, right? So this is the last up candle before the down move. So this kind of this backs my reasoning behind selling from this area right here. We also have this candle just like that. So if we do end up getting collapsed on this last bullish candle before the down move, we could be looking to sell from this area. But this is still on the daily time frame, and I'm still looking at what the market, how the market kind of reacts tomorrow, etc. So we're just going to have to see. But for now, that's kind of my stance on GU. So if we take a look at GA, guys, we discussed this around, I actually can't remember, was this like 2-3 weeks ago? And I was showing you guys on the weekly time frame how we were in a very, very strong trend channel, right? Strong bullish trend channel, just like that. So price was using this dynamic support resistance, touching off the top, dropping down, touching off the bottom, going up. And what did we notice? We noticed on one of the daily candles that price broke out, right? So price broke out on one of these candles. I think it was this candle right here, right? So we were looking at this candle, price dropped, it broke out. Actually, it was this candle, I'm not even sure which one. But anyways, price dropped, it broke out, retested this area, and it's dropping nicely again, right? So personally, I would still be looking for shorts on GA. All right, so if we mark this institutional candle right here on the daily, take a look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour is a bit, you know, kind of has a head and shoulders here. This area specifically where we will be looking to sell from. This wouldn't be one of my most highest probable trades. I definitely wouldn't get into this one, but if you're really, really stuck and you really, really want to trade GA, this is something that I take. Just a sell from here. But honestly, it's just a kind of a setup that I would avoid. It's not really anything that looks beautiful to me. You know, we're only trying to take high probable trades. If we do take our fib right here and we take it from high to low, we can see that institutional candle, the open of the institutional candle, and that's where we take our entries, guys, from the open of the institutional candle or 50% of the institutional candle, if any of you are new here. And that lies nicely with the equilibrium of this range. The equilibrium basically just means the 50%, right? Just the 50%. So I'll check the chat as well. What do you think of the 1 hour? All right, let me check the 1 hour. I'm guessing you're looking at this area right here, this candle right here. This could be a potential candle as well, but personally, I'm just not really looking at the 1 hour anymore because I feel like the 1 hour kind of takes away from, most of the time it takes away from us, especially as smart money traders, from looking at the bigger time frame direction, right? And it kind of, like, for example, this isn't a bearish structure, but most of the time we might see, like, for example, this institutional candle right here, right? Because you're looking at the 1 hour candle and you're so zoomed in, right? And you're looking at the 1 hour time frame, you're not really seeing the market structure from the previous few days or few months, whatever, right? And you might be taking a look at this. Oh yeah, okay, went down, dropped, took a bit of liquidity, nice bullish engulfing candle. Let me try and buy this, right? That's why I like to look at the daily, because once you know where you're sitting on the daily, right, and you can clearly see that price is clearly in a downtrend, right? Your price is clearly in a downtrend. Maybe price might switch up from now, but if you were to place a sell right now, right, if you were to just place a random sell, one out your MT4 and just drop the sell for no reason, which is going to be more high probable, most likely to win? If you place a sell or buy a sell, even though you have no confirmation, a sell, just following the market structure. So that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to trade against the trend at all, right? So yeah, I mean, the the 1 hour could be an area, but I don't know. I just wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. Just looking at how, if you take a look at how price has been playing around for the past 2 to 3 days on GA, it's kind of just wicking too much. And I want to see impulsive moves. I want to be getting in on impulsive moves. I don't want to be getting in when the market is contracting. Although I do have a really nice sell on GBP CAD that I want to go over right now. So maybe this could be a better setup to take a look at. So on GBP CAD. Right, so if you take a look, this thing keeps buzzing, 1 second. How do I mute this? Oh, yeah, perfect. Right, so if you take a look at GBP CAD, I'd like to take a look at this on the daily time frame. So, right, so there's literally 2 different setups that you could get in on GBP CAD. Here's the thing, right? So what do we have here? If you took a look at the 4 hour time frame, right, and you were zooming in here, and I'm going to get rid of these lines just so they don't confuse you. Just get rid of this really quickly. If we're taking at the previous market structure, right, this new range on the 4 hour, we can see that it's clearly bearish, right? It's clearly bearish, right? A lower low has been created, a higher low has been created, a lower low has been created, a higher low. Here is why I have this circle. I'm going to point this circle out, and I'm just actually going to get into this like little quick lesson that I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to take a look at the daily time frame. So when you're looking at the setup, you want to take a look straight away at the daily time frame, see what's happening. We had a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, and then a higher low. If we take our trend channel, just like that. Now, obviously, this price just pushes through it. Now we have this dynamic support. So touch here, touches here, touch there, touch there, touch there. So GBP CAD, technically wise, if you just take a look without knowing any of the fundamentals on CAD or GBP, you'd be stuck. If you're looking at the daily time frame, you're buying. If you're looking at the 4 hour time frame, you're selling. One second, I'm gonna draw this. Really quickly, guys, in the chat, I want you guys to drop, no matter what strategy you're using, in this area, would you be looking for buys or would you be looking for sells? And don't mind my markup. Would you be looking for buys or would you be looking for sells? Not even this area, just this whole box in general. What do you guys think? Would you be looking for sells or would you be looking for buys? Buys, okay. Anyone else? Got a nice buy on the 3 hour. Okay. Is that it? Buy. Correct. All right. So if you said buy, you're correct. Why? Because even though we're bearish, right? Even though we're bearish on the 4 hour time frame, right? And we're bearish on this, I don't know, whatever it is, the past few weeks, we're bearish. If we take a look at this low, right? This was the last time where the trend changed from bearish right here to bullish. For me to be completely bearish on GBP CAD, just technical wise, I would want to see a break of this low right here, right? Right. And the daily time frame clearly supports us with the trend channel, right? Pushing up this nice, wasn't a bullish engulf candle, but it was a very strong bullish candle, closed nicely. So for price to be bearish, I would like to see a break below this low, right? Now here's where it kind of gets tricky, and you'd kind of want to stay out and stay in of GBP CAD, because I personally think that the CAD is definitely going to get stronger. GBP is going to weaken, right? I'm looking for GBP sells, and I'm looking for XXX CAD sells as well, right? I think that GBP is getting stronger, and I think that the CAD is no, sorry, the GB is getting weaker and the CAD's getting stronger. So this would kind of put me in a gray area right here. Right? I wouldn't really know what to do because fundamentals is telling me one thing and the price action on the daily time frame is telling me one thing. Now, if we do take a look on the 4-hour time frame, we have a nice sell setup, right? Now, for me, fundamentals always rules over technicals. So for me, I would be selling from this area because fundamental wise, I'm looking for GP CAD to drop. Why am I selling from this area? Because I'm looking at this institutional candle right here, the last up candle before the big down move, an area of consolidation right here, right? Area of consolidation. So this would be resistance, very, very strong reactive area. And if we take the fib from high to low, let me take the fib from high, low, the high. As you can see, it lines up beautifully with the 78.6 area. Yeah, so it lines up beautifully with 78.6 area. And all the fib level is just finding areas, nice areas of discount and premium, right? So that's what I'm looking for on GPCAD. I'm looking for a sell below here. Now, if price ends up pushing through here, we know why, right? But we just take it on the chin and you move on to the next trade. It doesn't matter if you lose, right? So I've nothing on GBP, JPY. I have a trade on GN, really, really nice setup on GN right here. If you take a look at the 4-hour, so this is much easier to look at, right? We understand that GN is clearly in a downtrend, right? Price tried to, if you take a look here, we had a higher high, a higher low, and a price tried to push up for a higher high, but no, it created a double top. So we're looking for a price to push down now, right? And as you can see, price went down, right? It failed to break through this resistance, right? Failed to break through this resistance. Price pushed back up one more time, failed to make a higher high, and it created a higher low, just like that. So boom, just like that. So we're looking for sells on GN. As well, on the 4-hour time frame, we have a really, really nice institutional candle that went up, took out this triple top. So this liquidity that we have here, and this area is also an area of resistance, right? So strong reaction areas, just here, here, all the way back here. Now, if you take a look at GN's kind of also finally settled nicely, and it's kind of given us some more normal price action, and the market hasn't been acting as weird as it has back here. So this definitely wasn't tradable. This is definitely something really, really nice to trade, right? It's going nicely in our downward trend channel. So here would be somewhere that I definitely like to get in to sell, right? For a nice 237 pips. Now the stop loss might be a bit big, but remember GN's pip value is really, really small. So that 80 pips would realistically be only 40 pips on your USD. So I feel like a lot of people don't actually understand what pip values are. It's really, really important to understand. It's really, really important to understand because, for example, on USD MXN, you could have a 200 pip stop loss, but that could literally only mean that 200 pip stop loss would only be 80 pips or 40 pips, whatever, in Euro USD terms. And I'm always referring back to Euro USD because Euro USD is just standard. It's a standard pip value. It means 1 for 1, right? So I'm going to go over Euro USD. This is an important one that I want to go over. I don't really usually do this, but I'm going to take a look at the monthly time frame. And I want you guys to notice this monthly time frame, right? So if you take a look from here, we have a clear trend line, right? Clear trend line. We have this kind of wedge forming on the monthly time frame, right? So we can see that price is around this area at the moment, right? Currently at the moment. So whatever happens here is going to be very, very, very important, right? So if we get a break through this trend line, then honestly, for the rest of the year, I could see Euro USD just clearing all the way maybe down to here, right? Down to this area. But I honestly see Euro USD, if it breaks through this trend line, retest back up and just drop for the rest of the year. If price keeps continuing up from this area, because this is a very, very strong area, right? Very, very strong area. This is going to be strong dynamic support area because it's on a monthly time frame. And to be honest, even if we get a breakthrough the daily, or if we get a breakthrough on a 4-hour, whatever, any other time frame, or even the weekly, I wouldn't consider that a break of the trend line because this is some major, this is a major trend line, right? So I'd like to see the April monthly candle to close below here, right? So this is kind of like the month of decision. If price closes below this trend line this month, then honestly see price dropping even more. But if price doesn't, right, if price doesn't, then I could see your USD pushing up all the way up to these highs, back up here, and then maybe you could try and go at the trend line once more, right, from this institutional candle. Right. If you want to go by structure as well, boom, clearly in a downtrend. Right. So once again, we're going to have to see what happens in this area. Now, if we take a look at the 4-hour time frame, this is two scenarios that we could get. We could get price to push down all the way here for a buy scenario. It's just going to be a mini buy up all the way up to this area, right? This area of strong resistance. And there's a nice institutional candle as well here, right? The last up candle before the big down move for a sell. And then just place stop loss here. So small stop loss. And now we could look to target this low right here and see what price does, right? Even these lows, if you wanted to, for a bit more of a longer term target. Just like that. So if price comes down below here first, we can buy all the way up to here. If price ends up going to a sell area, then this buy becomes invalid because how does the market work, right? We're looking for a higher low, a lower low, a higher low, a lower low. If price makes that higher low, then we're expecting the lower low. So that makes our buy invalid, right? So moving on to USD CAD, we have the same thing right here. If we take a look at the daily time frame, so you can see still in a downtrend. Right, in a downtrend. We have a nice trend channel as well on the 4-hour time frame. If we take a look at the daily time frame, what do we have here? I'm going to delete everything here. Boom. Nice institutional candle, right? So this was the candle that went up above this wick right here, took out all that liquidity and created two strong bearish candles. What do we look for? We're looking for price to come back out and mitigate orders at the open of this candle, right? And then for it to push prices back down. So want it to come up to this open of the candle, and we could have a stop loss like 60 pips, and we could be looking for a new lower low to be created. Now, fundamentals back me up as well, because personally I'm still looking for sells on CADs, right? On the 4-hour, could be looking at the same entry, right? This last up candle before the down move, right? Same thing here. So it's kind of an institutional candle, boom, just like that. It's a nice area of resistance as well. Whoops. In here, right? And I'd like to take my fib, see if that lines up nicely with anything. Right. So the open of the institutional candle is nearly around the equilibrium area, right? Sort of 50%, which is not too bad. It's not too far off. Gonna take a look at USD MXN as well. So kind of went over this already. I would take a look at a buy from this area here, right? So clearly in a nice, beautiful, well-respected trend channel right here. So price going up, down, nicely creating higher highs, higher lows. What exactly do you mean by fundamentals? By fundamentals, I mean what's happening in the market, right? Economics. So what's happening in the market, news, etc. Like if you want to take a look at fundamental analysis, just look up Daily FX at this website right here, and read all the news and analysis that they have here, right? Don't bother reading their technical analysis. Sometimes it gets confusing. But for example, right straight away you can read your forecast outlook for USD still bearish, right? So they're already backed my analysis on I was looking for a sell in USD because I knew that fundamentally USD is bearish. If we take a look why we enter here, they're going to give us the reasons, right? So fundamental euro forecast bearish. And they tell us why. Euro price at risk of further losses. The latest purchase managers blah, 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 will be hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. And it just gives us more and more and more reasons, right? And then they move on to their technical analysis, to their technical analysis down here. But we don't really give a shit about that, right? So we only want to listen to their fundamental analysis of what they're looking out for. Then we take a look at here, gold price outlook bullish as liquidity gushes. That's the reason, because the liquidity gushes and recession looms. So we're already looking at, okay, technical wise, we already know, like, the fundamentals is like the foundation of your house, and then the technical is all like the extras that you add in. That's all. Range breakout, don't listen, that's just more of a technical analysis here. US dollar outlook bullish on FOMC as virus-induced recession risks swell, right? So straight away, that I already told you earlier on that we're looking for the bullish dollar, and this fundamental analysis backs it up right here, and it gives you just small bullet points right here. So may rise on liquidity demand, rate decision, and deteriorating global growth prospects, driving demand for safe haven assets, right? Which means that we're looking for buys on JPYs as well, because JPYs are safe havens, right? So that's all. That's how you do your fundamental analysis. Now, there's obviously a much more deeper way of looking at fundamental analysis, like by looking at countries' GDPs, their economies, all this. But if you just want a quick outlook, then that's all you need. Daily FX. There's FX Street. There's investing.com. There's just so many other ways to take a look at them, right? So that's what I'm looking for. And the same thing as well, I've already looked at the fundamental analysis for USD MXN. Even last week's fundamental analysis, we were very bullish on the USD MXN, which helped us really nicely with our trade that we took last week, right? So if we take a look here, once again, we're looking at this last down candle before the up move, right? Boom, this institutional candle looking for price to drop down here. Now, if you take a look right here, if we scroll back on the 4-hour time frame, we had a nice institutional candle on the daily time frame, right? Sorry, on the 4-hour time frame. So this last up candle before the down move, price retested that and it's dropping back down. But judging just based off the market structure, I'm not looking to sell. This is not in an area of a sell. We're only looking for buys right now. So I'm going to wait for price to drop back all the way down to this 2-hour candle, and now we can look for a buy up from here, right? So I just had this because I was marking this out, but I don't need this anymore. And we could be looking for this high to be created, right, for 10,000 pips, right? So this could be a potential long-term trade all the way up here. And honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw USD MXN take 10,000 pips in one week. Like, this could happen in 1 to 2 weeks. But we're gonna have to see, because these days fundamentals are kind of always switching up. You never know what's happening. There's just so much news that's just so unpredictable, like Kim Jong-un, all these coronavirus. Like, who would have predicted that the coronavirus would have happened? You know what I mean? But all of these just unexpected news comes out, and it could literally switch up your bias. So you can't be married to your bias, right? You can't be married to your bias. So if you're looking at USDMX on a Sunday and you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely bullish, and then you start seeing price drop, oh okay, maybe it'll touch this support and push up, oh okay, maybe it'll touch this institutional and push up. No, if the bias has changed, just take it on the chin and don't be married to your analysis, because that's such an important thing. It's not a matter of pride. You know, you're not going to look stupid, you're not going to look like an idiot just because you were wrong. No, you're just going to save yourself money, and in turn you'll actually make money from selling that shit instead of buying it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking for in USDMX. And the last pair I'm looking at would be AUD/USD, right? So I'll be looking for never mind a buy on this, I'll be looking for a sell on AUD/USD, right? So this area here, this last up candle before the down move, because if you take a look at AUD/USD on the daily time frame, big push up, right? Big push up, big imbalance in here, right? Big push up. Price is going to start getting exhausted. It really needs a big deep correction. AUD/USD needs a big deep correction, maybe all the way down to this level, right? So this could be a long-term sell somewhere all the way down here. So for like 300 pips, right? Look for sell on that 4-hour candle. Small stop loss. Only a 30 pip stop loss. See if it lines up with our fib. Yep, beautifully next to the 78.6 level. So that's a really, really nice sell on AUD USD. But as I said, we'll have to see how price reacts near to that area. Actually, one more. Yeah, I'm looking at USD CHF buy. I know I went over so much setups, but this week is looking really, really nice. So we're gonna have to see what's up on a daily time frame. Clearly bullish on the USD CHF, right? This nice trend channel. If we take a look, the last down candle, right? This is a nice, fresh area of demand right here, right? So we're looking for price to drop down here to buy, and this is also an institutional candle, right? So the last down candle before that big up move. So price, as you can see, created a higher high, come back down to create a higher low, lines up with nicely with the dynamic support resistance. It could reach all the way down to this level or there, or here. I don't know, but stop loss won't even be that much of an issue. It's only like 40 pips, right? So price to push down here, create a higher high eventually, and probably we'll get a reaction off this highs because there's just so much candles, and there's probably going to be some sort of reaction here anyways, right? So that's pretty much it for this call, guys. If you're interested in getting more of these calls, make sure to message me or Ayub to hop on the premium signals. And I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in.